So I just want to say thanks for all the support that we had last night at our Gourmet for God. Yeah, we had some, yeah. It was actually an Ann party, I figured out later. Ann, we had Sue Ann, Diane, Ariane, and Julie Anna. Adrienne. Adrienne. Yeah. So, and Robert. Yeah, so Catherine Ann. So, yeah, it was now that you, yeah. So, again, welcome to West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I'll try and bring myself down and raise back up. Yeah. So, we're going to start off with This is the Day. And if you feel the Spirit, please rise and join in the song. I think Kindred is doing her wonderful thing, has the words up here. So, feel free to sing along with us, actually, is what I was hoping for. So.
All right, good morning. I just love this festive energy that I'm feeling here at the center, and I want to welcome you here to West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Clyde Goings, and it is a beautiful Sunday morning. So we're going to start off with the quick announcements from the Projects of Love team. So they're going to come up and make a quick announcement. And Gloria is running this way, dancing. And some more of the team. I think the whole team is going to come up here.
Thank you. Thank you. We are the team of Projects of Love. It is our privilege to make Reverend Karen's vision of community outreach a reality. Today, we would like to shine a light on Sunshine Services, which is located in Sun City. We have brochures and magnets that are available at the Community Outreach Board that's located in Packey Hall. The story is told that a pastor was presented with a challenge in life. His wife was in need of some medical equipment in order to recover from an illness at home. However, they were unable to avoid the minimal fee of $35 that was required to rent the hospital bed, to have it delivered and set up. He thought there must be others that have this need, and so the seed was planted. The universe answered by sending a stranger that appeared, giving him the full plan on how to start the business. He wanted to go get his wife to hear the news, but as quickly as the man appeared, he also disappeared. Del Webb donated a building, and within a year, the business of Sunshine Services was providing medical equipment for the residents of Sun City. And we have a video.
What you want, baby, I got it. What you need, do you know I got it too? All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. Just a little bit, hey, baby, just a little bit.
As you can see, they have lots of equipment. I was amazed at this because they not only thought about the medical equipment. If you have relatives visiting, they have rollaway beds, they have high chairs for the infant, cribs. Look at that cute walker. Oh my God. Everything was thought of. This was an amazing place. And if anyone is in need of any medical equipment, I think that this is a place to go.
It's only for Sun City residents, but they do accept of medical equipment. Oh. It's for Sun City residents only. They do accept donations of medical equipment, so.
And they have recliner lift chairs. Oh my God.
Thank you. Yeah, so we asked them to report out on once a quarter. We're giving back to the community. That's part of our tithe program, and so they get to decide together as a group on where we donate our money to. So thank you guys for doing that. All right, so I just have one quick announcement. Well, a couple of quick announcements, I'm sorry. So first of all, I want to remind everybody that our Wednesday night candlelight service is coming up. It's the 20th. Thank you very much, Kay. So it's the 20th, so please, if you have not experienced our Wednesday night candlelight service, you can see it watch it online, but we would prefer you to be here in person because it's a beautiful experience. And then also with Sue Witters doing her burning bowl, New Year's Eve, and then she'll be doing that first service to get us started off with right in the new year. All right, so one last quick announcement that I want to make is, so this Wednesday is our last class, our Wednesday night meeting that we've been meeting. We started in 2018, and we went through the whole Science of Mind textbook. And so Wednesday is going to be our last class. And so I asked a couple of the team members that are joining us on Wednesday night to send me an email, and so I wanted to read one of them to you. One of the comments. So she says, you missed out, all because it was your 6 o'clock dinner time. What a life-changing experience this class has been for our group. Our group committed to ourselves to a Wednesday evening study session. It was thought-provoking and good conversation. At the start of the class, we shared what was up with each other and grew as friends. Now we have a sense of accomplishment and have fast-forwarded our spiritual growth exponentially together. And I'm a heartfelt thanks for Reverend Clyde Goings. So again, we've done this since 2018, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is, starting in 2024, we're going to go through Living the Science of Mind textbook. So we're going to be meeting again for a few years to go through that book. So you guys are welcome to join anytime, or a couple of these ladies have been with me the whole entire journey. So it's been an incredible experience. So it's Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Again, today's the last class, and then starting in January, we're going to be posting the new session, and then it'll be available for whoever wants to join in and drop in.
It's on Zoom, Reverend?
Yes, it's on Zoom. We do it on Zoom, so thank you. So, and it's only an hour time. You can eat while you're in class even. So, all right. So let's say our vision statement together so we can get this service started. We are a loving, joy-filled community, honoring the many paths to God as we learn and live the science of mind principles. And so it is. So just sit back, relax, open up your hearts and minds for the Bradford's beautiful music and Reverend Karen's important message. Thank you.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, Lord.
I will make a quiet place within my life. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place.
A quiet place that is God, that sweet spirit, the divine presence of all things, all beings, all situations, that is the expression of love and beauty and peace and all that is good in this universe. That God that expresses in this center, in everyone in it and beyond. That divine presence that is that love and guidance and lives in our hearts and minds. And knowing that each one of us is one with this divine sweet spirit. We are one. Collectively, we are the engineer and the engine, the co-creators of our life. In an expression of that beauty, love, and peace that is God. And on this beautiful Sunday morning, I am so grateful for this day. And I speak a word of blessing on behalf of each one of us in this room, and each one of us, and those watching online, and those who cannot be with us today. and a blessing for all those in service today, including the Bradfords, whose music touches our hearts and souls with that gorgeous harmony that fills this room. And for Reverend Karen, knowing that her words touches our hearts and souls, and knowing that her words come through her expressing as the words of God. And for all other faith traditions, knowing that there are many paths to that one God. And with great gratitude, I release my words into the law, knowing that it is already done. It is so. And I say yes to love and peace and joy and all that is good. And together we say, and so it is. Today, my reading is from The Answer Is You by Michael Bernard Beckwith. The image and likeness of spirit is both within and beyond its creation. This faculty is also an aspect of our birthright. We are both immanent and transcendent beings, immanent in the world of matter as evidenced through our physical senses, emotions, and thoughts, and transcendent as the non-material self that simply witnesses. We are empowered to transcend our human characteristics, thus reflecting the image and likeness of the spirit in which we are made. When we consciously make use of this powerful faculty, we become fully franchised co-creators of our individual and collective human destiny. Now let's take a moment and contemplate those words. And so it is.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all the children come, their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. At this beautiful time of the year, in the Arizona desert, let's enjoy every moment of every day. And as you move through your day, know that your unique vibration of love will gently bless everybody and everything. Christmas time is here, families drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the
Okay. There are infinite ways to pull this off. Not only that, but I can talk pretty damn loud if I have to. It just wouldn't record very well. So, good morning. Welcome to the West Valley Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Karen Rice, and I'm happy to be here. I am the spiritual leader of this community, and it's so exciting to be wrapping up yet another year. This is the 13th Christmas service, the first 13th Christmas season I have served in this community, and time really passes without, don't blink. Oh, and I'm talking today, I picked such an interesting title for a Christmas theme, and keep in mind I do this more than a year in advance, and so the title of the message is indeed, Well Done, Kay, and tying it in that prayer. The engine and the engineer, or yes, that's it. The engine and the engineer, and there's a quote that goes with it from Dr. Ernest Holmes, something he stated in the book, "Can We Talk to God?" And I know. I sat down to write the talk, and I went, "What's the title this week? What the heck am I going to do with that? What was I thinking?" But this quote says it all. The quote reads this way. Dr. Holmes said, "We differentiate between God as the infinite person, capital P." We're talking about the personal side of the presence of God. So we differentiate between the God as the infinite person, that divine presence, and the law, which is the divine principle. So he's talking about two different aspects of the divine. One is the engineer, he says, and the other is the engine. This is I know it feels a little complex in the way that it's worded, but Kay, you did such a good job in just, I had to think a lot harder than you did, I think, when I was trying to put it all together. But we're talking about love and law. Holmes and so many other great poets and spiritual thinkers had this idea that in the way that Walt Whitman worded it, and we've repeated it so often through the years, that there's love and there's law, and love is the presence, and law is the principle that makes it all work. So we're reminded in this quote that there's something very personal about the presence of God, and it's up to us as individuals as to how we personalize it. That's why there are so many different ideas about what God is. It's kind of the whole point. And there's a way we can have an intimate relationship with that great creative power of all the universe, that image of the infinite wisdom coming together as a creator and a sustainer of this gorgeous planet, this universe. And the other side of that is the principle that makes it all work. It's just like the laws of physics that we witness in nature. And this is a very essential theory in a massive part of life, whether you're a spiritual thinker or you tend to be a little more science-based, you're agnostic or even atheist. These are still principles that will show up. So you see it in the world as cause and effect, as you reap what you sow, what goes around comes around, in all those other little ways we speak about it. But I think the important thing is that in that quotation, Dr. Holmes said that we differentiate between those two concepts. Now, there is not two gods. We even teach a triune nature of God, and we're not suggesting there are even three gods. There are aspects that help us understand how to relate to God and how to use principles, spiritual ideas, to apply them in our lives so that we benefit in a practical way. So there, of course, through much of history, there were multiple gods in many faiths, and even indigenous. Think of the Father Sky and Mother Earth. There were variations and different personalities, and there were good gods and bad gods. And sometimes the bad gods, when you go to Southeast Asia and you see the demons on the corners of the beautiful ornate buildings, they served, even though they look really evil, they served served as an image of protecting what's good. So we have this gorgeous philosophy. We're a part of this bigger teaching that we sometimes refer to as New Thought. And it's New Thought, but it's New Thought around ancient wisdom. And Ernest Holmes said it that way every now and then, and a lot of other great people do too. Because we're talking about perennial wisdom, that universal way that truths are just sort of interwoven and connected and tell the same story, but there are multiple versions of those stories because we are individualized, we're different, we live in different cultures, and we have different ways of applying the meaning of the stories into our life. So along comes the Hebrew people and Judaism, and we finally see there's this shift in the thinking of humanity to one God. Hear, O Israel, one. And now we start moving toward the universal, where we are right now, is we're looking at the idea of a universal Christ consciousness, which is more than Christian. It's the essence of the of how we tap into the wisdom. It's just another explanation for understanding wholeness and connection and oneness and just the vibrancy of life as it's all connected. So God as a presence we think of as a loving creator. This is the aspect of God that I need when I'm feeling down, when I'm troubled by anything in life and I need to be comforted. This is the essence of a comforting God when we feel lonely, that we can always remember that we're not alone. This is the essence of God that is the supplier and sustainer of life, of every good gift, and that we then don't have to have sleepless nights over the things that concern us in terms of how limited our life may look from time to time. And then the other side of that is the principle of law that is always working in our favor. And in order to understand that, sometimes I have to notice that when there is something, some kind of discord or interruption in the universe, that nature herself has the brilliance to self-correct. And so there is that ongoing insistence on the reordering of anything that seems to be out of order, and the universe does it innately because it is what God is. It is that divine, perfect energy. It's the same healing essence that we look to when we feel any discord in our own lives. So as I pondered all of this, I was thinking about the way the engine in my car is not me, but I can get in my car and I can unify with the power that comes from the engine. I can use my understanding of how to drive my vehicle and tap into that power, and that the engine in my car doesn't care where I, as the engineer, am directing it to go. It will go, even if it's a mistake and I'm going in the wrong direction, it doesn't care. But as a human thinking being, if I end up at a location that really wasn't what I intended or isn't where I now want to be, I can course correct. And I can change my mind, and I can just tell my car and do the right moves to get myself to where I actually want to be. And it's a beautiful, symbolic story of how we are also in that same relationship with our physical being, in that same relationship with all of our relationships, and the way that we live in our neighborhoods and move about town and all of it. There's one story. There's one primal story. So how well do you unify with all that power in your own life? There's an engine, and there's always an engineer. And there are so many other ways in our lives where we depend on little motors or engines or power in our daily lives. You know, like if I want to, I don't, but if I wanted to vacuum my floor, I could, I go in the garage. I don't vacuum much. I have somebody that brings his own. But I can go in the garage and get my vacuum and be pretty confident that the motor's going to start up when I plug it in, when I connect it to the power source. And I can then be the engineer of getting my home a little cleaner. I can wake up in the morning and I can use my toaster oven and make toast and my coffee maker to make coffee and serve myself breakfast because there's a intelligence that's wired into those little machineries in our lives that help us be more comfortable in the way that we live our lives. So there are all these interesting ways that we are engineering the good that we desire to experience, or the pleasure, or the accomplishments, and that we are the engineers. We are the ones in charge. I think the important way now to link this to the bigger picture is to recognize that the great engineer of all creation has created us, engineered us into being. That we are living in that exact same pattern as a microcosm of something that is much greater than we are, and that something is God. It's Spirit. It's the Creator. It is the infinite intelligence of the entire universe. And so when we personalize our own lives by making toast and coffee, and we're aware that we're playing in this great game of life, we're duplicating the way the wisdom in the universe can be used, the way we can individualize it to our benefit, then what we're really doing is we're duplicating something much vaster, the macrocosm that is God. And I just love that idea that God had a thought and thought us into being. You know, the mind of God. Through the mind of God, we are here. And so we then are, the image and the way we have an image and likeness of God is that we are creative beings also, and we can follow these same patterns. And when we do it intentionally, when we do it with awareness that we are participating in a universal story, a God-given gift of freedom and choice and possibility in our own lives, then it becomes a more profound and that essence of gratitude then deepens the experience. So in a very personal way, so many sagey, very deep thinkers that preceded our time here on the planet have been saying for a long time that love, God is love, remember. Love is the force that propels the engine. That's what we say in Science Mind textbook. Holmes writes about it in great detail. And as a matter of fact, you're going to be really blessed when in January when Reverend Clyde takes the pulpit and we look at the basics of science of mind. Can I reveal your theme, or do you want it to be a surprise? He's going to be spending 2 weeks talking about love and law in greater detail. And so these are really valuable tools for us. And he's going to apply it in a very personal way for you. And so I look forward to us all having that experience. Here we are. Holmes once said this. Ooh, this is such a fun quote. I was really proud of myself when I found this one. We live because life lives in us. We move because there's a universal energy that is activating us. We think because there is a universal mind that is thinking through us. Therefore, there is a divine spark in absolutely everyone. Oh, what luscious words. I think this is such a I like that gorgeous image of a divine spark, because especially right now, because in the Christmas story there's that light in the sky, that star in the sky, and it is a star of promise. It is a light in the heavens. I think of it very heavenly, and it is a star and a bright light that not only guides us but it renews us, and in that way we are updated like our computer has updates. We are updated and renewed with these newborn possibilities, and what a lovely time of year to really focus on that divine spark that is within us. I think it's fabulous. All the power, all the intelligence of the universe is already within each and every one of us, and it's just waiting to be used. Waiting. It puts a whole different idea on how maybe it's possible that there is a sacred waiting that we could learn to cherish. So, when I knew I was doing this message on the engine and the engineer, I don't know about you, but the first thing I thought of was this old childhood book, The Little Engine That Could. Were you hoping I was going to go there? Or were you hoping not? You were hoping I would? Good. We'll lean into that. I didn't know this, but The Little Engine That Could was first published in 1930. And what's interesting is that The Little Engine That Could is a she. It's a feminine view. And it was written in 1930, so I'm reading the book. I ordered the book, couldn't find my kids' version of it, so I ordered a new copy of it. I actually intended to read it to our congregant baby, Asiana, who is not here today. So, and we don't even have any cute dogs I could read to today, do we? Will you let me read it to you, John? Oh, awesome. Come on up here. I'm going to read it. Oh, thank you, John. You saved the day. Seriously, come on up here. You can sit in a chair. Come on. I'm going to read to you. Let me tell you. Come on, John. You know you want to. You don't have to do anything. Just let me love you. I'll be kind. I'll try not to embarrass you. Hi, John. I almost wore mine today, too. So when I read this story, I got the book and I read this story, I kept going, she, they're referring to she. Oh, I bet it's a modern update. And so I Googled it. And by the way, it was like the second thing that came up when I was typing it in it. So it must be frequently asked. And somebody said that it was a paleontology professor, Roy Plotnick, said that it was actually always been she. It was written she. Now, all the trains are not she's. Some of the trains in the story are he's. So it's fair. Just want you to know. But this paleontologist who studies the history of time said that it was an early inspirational feminist hero. So in 1930, that would be, I don't know, was feminist even a word that anybody used? I don't know. So the story is about this train full of, I'm going to read a very abbreviated version. In fact, I only have one hand. It might be tricky. And there's a train full of toys and treats for little girls and boys who live on the other side of the hill. And then there's a problem, and the little engine that could saves the day. But it's a little worrisome in the beginning. So are you ready, John? Thank you for being my special treat today. The little engine that could. Chug, chug, puff, puff. Ding dong, the little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy little train, and her cars were filled with toy animals, giraffes with really long necks, teddy bears with almost no necks, and even a baby elephant. There were dolls and the funniest little toy clown that you could ever imagine. The little train was carrying all these wonderful things to little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain, but the train broke down. The train broke down and there was no way over the mountain. It's okay, it's going to get better. Suddenly, a shiny new engine came around the corner on the tracks. And the toys were so happy, and the toys all said, "Hey, help us! Will you stop and help us?" And the shiny new engine said, "Oh no, I'm a very important engine. I don't have time to help you." The toys were all sad. And he steamed away. And then later, a rusty old engine comes by. And again, again, the toys got really excited, and the little toy clown is waving him down with a flag. See him waving him down with a flag, and he says, and they all go, "Will you help us? We need to get over the hill now." And the rusty old engine said, "I'm so tired. I can't help you over the hill." So look how disappointed this little girl is. Just look, she's crying. She's so sad. But then the little blue engine comes down the tracks, and the toys get full of hope, and they flag it down, and the little engine goes, "What's the matter, friends?" And they say that our engine broke down, and we need somebody to tow us over the hill. We need somebody to get us over there so all these toys and treats can get to the boys and girls. And the little train goes, "Well, I'm not very big, but I could try. I think I can." Right? Is that the famous part of the story, right? Right? I think I can. Say it with me. I think I can. So good the baby wasn't here. This is way more fun. And so she hooked up to the train, and she tugged and she pulled and she tugged and she pulled, and she went slowly, slowly up the hill going, "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." And sure enough, she gets to the top, and the toys go down the hill and are delivered to all the boys and girls, and all the animals and toys. They cheer and they go, "Hooray! Now the children get their gifts." Yay! The end. Thank you, John. Man, that was way more fun. Oh, that was way more fun. Thank you, John. That was really fun. There are so many lessons in that story. You know, on Wikipedia had some suggestions that this is a great story that for decades has taught children about optimism, has led children to understand that there's a payoff in hard work, and you may think you're little, but you can still do big things. I think the most important lesson, however, is believing in yourself and understanding that that is the very first step to accomplishing big things, is just to believe you can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And it's such a beautiful story of hope and possibility. And then there's an edge also on that idea of how do you treat other people when they come to you for help. Because I didn't read the lengthy version of this story, but there was a lot of just rejection. And, you know, we can still say no to things. You know, I think of how we feel when we get off the freeway and there's someone there with a sign and they're wanting you to give them money, and it stirs things within us. But we can still be respectful to each other. It doesn't mean you have to give every time you see somebody with a handout. It means that we choose, and we choose in our own lives, and we choose with our own families, and we participate in life. But that way that the little blue train shows up and she goes, "What's the matter? What's going on, friends?" Everyone is a friend, and it's such a lovely Christmas time story. So I was thinking, I think I can, and I thought of that Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Right? And those are the words of Jesus, not quite like that, but he's saying that same message that we know from Scripture, that if you believe that you can, then you can, because it is done unto you as you believe. And when you believe, anything is possible. And that's a beautiful message for us to hang on to. I'm so grateful for the Projects of Love for showing us something that we can do. We contribute as a community to an outside something locally where we can be of help to the good work they do in the world too. The power of faith, the power of believing, that's our faith. That then gives us this confidence to where we're not looking at anything in the outside world in an adversarial way, right? Including our own thoughts and beliefs we have about stuff we see going on in the world. There's just a greater gift we bring the world when we think we can, when we say yes to life, when we look at the beautiful messages in so many of the children's fables. And I think there's another benefit also that comes from that attitude that I think I can do it. And that is that when we think we can do it, whatever it is, when we're open-minded in that way, even if something scares us, but we don't just shut it down, then we are walking through life in an attitude of yes. Yes. Receptive, yes. Interconnected, yes. And not that door that closes with every no. So we can use that. We can make this a goal for how we're going to finish walking through this season of festivities. And I think that it's really useful for us to remember that every time we believe we can accomplish some great task, every time that we personally direct the law of our choice to some good result, we have done something positive for this planet. We have done something good for the other people that we walk by in our world. Every time you treat another person with kindness, every time you have tenderness in your heart for every living creature on this planet. Think about when I water the potted plants on my patio, it's like you can feel them saying, "Thank you, thank you." We're in relationship with all of life. So think of it this way. When we align ourselves to a higher power, that power that is a power for good and it's greater than we are. And when we realize there's a law that we can use to benefit not just ourselves, but this planet. When we say yes to God in that way, we become a vessel through which God can show up, and we allow a mighty engineer to command the vessel of our being. It's a wonderful way to walk through life. Also, when I was writing and thinking about this idea of engines and engineers, I also thought of Engineer Bill. Raise your hand if you drank your milk, red light, green light, with Engineer Bill. Not too many. Oh. Raise your hand if you never heard of Engineer Bill. Oh my goodness. Well, that was unexpected for our age. How could you not know? Was that an LA thing? Is that maybe just a Southern California TV show? So Engineer Bill had a train conductor hat, and he wore those striped overalls, and mommies would just get our milk ready, and it was to promote goodness in kids' lives. And I wonder if it was just an LA show. And then your mom would get you a glass of milk at a certain time of the morning, and he showed cartoons in between telling you sweet things, and then you would play the red light, green light game. So it was green light, you drink your milk, but you don't gulp. So he's teaching you how to be proper. Apparently, no one was lactose intolerant in those days. Drink your milk. So he'd go green light and you'd drink, and then he'd go red light and you'd put your glass down, and then you would play that game till you finished your milk. But it wasn't to win, it was to do it in timing with Engineer Bill. And he also had a train. He had a model train on the TV set, which was very, humble it was in the 1950s. And the train, on Monday morning, there was a little, what do you call the car that you put coal in, an empty, okay, we'll call it a coal car. That's perfect. And it would go, and then there was this little railroad track that would go up a little hill, a pretend hill. And every Monday, he would put a bad habit. He would name a bad habit that we were all going to work on for the week. And every day, it would go up the hill a little bit more. And by Friday, it would be at the top of the hill, and it would dump its load over the side, and you would release that bad habit. Is this science of mind? This is great. So I want you to I thought you'd relate to it more, but I want you to take the red light, green light, and use it in your own life. If you're feeling like the Grinch of Christmas, put a red light out there and give a green light to kindness and love and peace that you can bring to the planet in a better way. Use your mind to think yourself in a direction that serves you and serves other people. After all, this is considered a season to remember miracles. When you bring your peace, when you make a decision to be kinder and more loving, when you bring your peace and love to the world, you are, in a very personal way, you are influencing the course of human history. Things will not change in this world until we do the inner work, and we change, and we bring hope to other people. We inspire other people to remember that it is possible, not just at Christmas time, but always. The more we learn about how the universe works, the more we understand these metaphors of the engine and the engineer, and the way we can empower ourselves by tapping into the almighty power of God that is gracefully given to us constantly. The more that we allow ourselves to expand in consciousness, we are expanding what's possible on this planet. Because we are remembering, my friends, it's all God. That God is everywhere present all the time. And we are the engineers in our own lives. We are creating holy newness, choice by choice. And that's what I wanted to say today. Just take a nice, deep, holy breath. We just settle into this sacred moment of powerful prayer, where we feel and sense that holy presence of God right where we are, here in this sanctuary, or from afar as we listen remotely. We are surrounded by that love. We are filled with that wisdom. We are that divine spark, and in our remembering, we are igniting some great potential. So I feel the love of God within me. I feel that love, and I recognize that it is the activity of life, and that it is moving, and it is flowing, and it is circulating in my body and in the bodies of every listening ear. It is moving through time and through space, and it is healing because it is the greatest force in this universe. love. God's perfect love that reminds us that we are opening ourselves to a greater experience of wholeness, of connection, of oneness with life and with God and with everything in this universe. That we are essential to the whole, and it is a great gift that we have been individualized in such a way that we don't even define God in the same language, in the same way, with the same images in our minds. That there are aspects of love and law that are absolutely divine, and that there is the body and the soul and the mind and the mind of God, and all of it is just one. Hear, O Israel, hear, dear people, hear this now. There is one mind, one God, one infinite life. That life is perfect. And we can call on it and we can use it. We can engineer and maneuver through the tunnels of life. And we know deep at the center of our being that there is a great light, a heavenly light that is always guiding us, that is always that spark that is sparkened within us, so that we can tap into that wisdom, we can recognize that divine illumination, the presence of God that is guiding us, that is protecting us, that is loving us, holding us sweetly in that way of that childlike innocence. We can just know that we sit in the chair as the story is told to us, that we are comforted, that we are wrapped in the warmth of Spirit itself, not only at this time of year, but in every moment of life. And so I give thanks that today we have hunkered down and re-anchored ourselves to know that we can, and that the accomplishment begins with the thought. So we realize that thinking that we can is relevant and important and useful. I think I can. I think I can. And therefore, we do. We do the good works that God would have us do. We say yes to life. We allow ourselves to receive that comfort and that guidance, and we allow ourselves to become the inspirational light for others to find their way to. So I say thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, infinite Spirit, for this renewed perspective at this precious time of year. I release these words into that divine law, that principle of life that is activated by these very words. And I know that, yes, indeed, it is done. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Amen.
Reflected, shining back to me. I just give thanks for all these simple things, the joy and peace that gratitude brings. That's why I'm grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have. I am so grateful, grateful, grateful for all the love that I have.
All right. Thank you, Bradfords. And yes, we are grateful. So there's a couple quick reminders. One is it is Dining with the Dudes today. So we have wonderful food over there. They're being prepared right now. So please join us in great food and fellowship. I also want to remind you that we have a basket up here for you to put your ornament on the tree. And we would really like for you to come up and just at any time before or after service and put an ornament on the tree so you can add your love not only to the tree but to our community. So now is the time to celebrate the abundance of our life and the abundance of our community. So let's say our giving affirmation together. I live in a consciousness of good. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, and so it is.
Please rise for our last song. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. Oh, it feels so good to be alive. I ain't thinking about my problems. I'm living now. I'm living now. And I ain't gonna worry about the future. I'm living now. I'm living now. So put your hands up if you feel like having a good time. Put your hands up if you're sharing love with all. And raise your cup if you're hopeful for tomorrow. Put your hands up if you're ready to have some fun. Sing it loud. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be alive. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live in the moment. Feels good, don't it? Feels good, don't it? Only got one life, live. It feels so good to be alive. It feels so good to be alive. One more time. It feels so good to be alive.
Thank you, Kendra, for putting me on. All right, thank you, Bradford. You guys, I have to tell you, the feeling, the loving energy that's shining up this way, it just feels so wonderful. So thank you. Cheryl wanted me to make a quick announcement that if you ordered brownies for Gourmets for God, they're in there in the table in the room in there, so you can pick up your brownies. So join us for food. So let's say our closing affirmation together. Just repeat after me. I am God expressing. And God supported. And so it is.